I'm Frances Fisher, and as chair of the board, it's my great honor to welcome you to an evening of music and art in the gardens. As we gather in this extraordinary sanctuary, surrounded by the majestic palms, monumental sculptures, they've stood witness to decades of artistry and now preservation. I hope you're filled with inspiration, wonder, and what Ann Norton described as her hope for this property to serve as a deep refreshing. There are few places like it where history, art, and nature exist in such harmony, offering a refuge of beauty and tranquility in the heart of our growing community. Tonight, we're so excited to celebrate the leadership and generosity of those who have stewarded Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens and its service to our community and its visitors. We're thrilled to recognize the centennial anniversary of the Norton House and the Magnolia Society founding members, as well as the complete restoration of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens campus for the future. With all 9 of Ann Norton's monumental sculptures conserved, her gardens replenished and maintained as a living museum, and the preservation of the Norton House, Artist Studio, Orchid House and Plaza, and now the final phase of restoration on the 3rd historic structure for use as critical indoor programming, gallery, and archival space. The Gardens is thriving and continually evolving as a work of art in and of itself. All that we celebrate tonight is because of you and made possible by Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens' outstanding Board of Trustees and staff. Their unwavering commitment and leadership have guided the gardens to become an important cultural destination with extraordinary growth and remarkable programming as a treasured beacon of art, culture, and education. These achievements are celebrated with the tireless and heartfelt leadership of Executive Director Margaret Horgan and our dedicated staff. Their passion and commitment are felt in every corner of these gardens through the hearts, minds, and memories of the more than 50,000 visitors and 15,000 students welcomed here annually. We're profoundly grateful for our board and staff and your extraordinary service. Our National Advisory Council is an esteemed circle of ambassadors and leaders of culture, education, and preservation gathered here for the 4th time from throughout the country to share their invaluable insights and experience, and also to shine a national spotlight on the mission of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens. Led by trustee Sarah Griffin, the National Advisory Council continues to join with our board to further the garden's mission with mutual collaborations with other cultural and nonprofit partners nationally. Each of our council members is gratefully recognized in our program, and may I ask them to stand so we can welcome you back to the gardens and thank you for your leadership. We also join in thanking our presenting corporate sponsors for the Gardens Conservancy, from CIBC Private Wealth, including ANSG trustee and managing director of the Florida market, Gina Sabian. CIBC Private Wealth has been a steadfast supporter of the gardens and its mission, and their belief in the power of preservation and philanthropy is truly inspiring to us. We thank you, Gina, for your gracious support to make this evening of music and art in the gardens possible. ANSG is excited to share an amazing 10-year partnership with the Palm Beach Modern and Contemporary Fair, founded and directed by Nick Korniloff and Pamela Cohen. The Gardens is the official cultural beneficiary of the fair's opening tomorrow evening, and I hope you'll all join us for this one-of-a-kind, extraordinary show that ranks as the Palm Beach's most important fair of our season. With our partnership, we also welcome Deborah Sponder and Sponder Gallery, representing our latest exhibition in the Norton House, which I hope you had a chance to see this evening. It features renowned artist, the legendary Alex Katz, and his portraits and landscapes. Thank you to Nick and Pamela for all you do for ANSG, your devotion to the arts at the highest level, and your support of this beautiful sanctuary. Before we begin our award ceremony, we're honored to welcome two very special guests. Bob Vila, a leading board member of the National Trust for Historic Preservation and Gardens National Advisory Council member, as well as Carol Quillen, the president and CEO for the National Trust. Both share a lasting love and passion for preserving our national treasures. Bob's lifelong dedication to restoration and architectural preservation is an inspiration to thousands nationwide and also internationally. You probably know Bob best for his original role in the TV series This Old House. And on this occasion, as we celebrate the centennial of the Norton House, I know we all feel a sense of what Bob taught us. We feel very house proud tonight. It's an honor to welcome you both. Bob, may I invite you to say a few words and introduce Carol.
Thank you, Frances. It's always a great pleasure to be introduced by a Southern belle. Hard for me to accept the fact that my career started 50 years ago this year. But it's been a series of spectacular coincidences, accidents, and opportunities. And needless to say, this evening is one of those wonderful opportunities. I'm a native Floridian, I'm a Florida Gator. When I reestablished my residency back here in Palm Beach County about 20 years ago, I didn't realize that I was coming to such a vibrant community in terms of my field, in terms of the awareness of the need for preservation and the importance. And I was asked to give a quote or a blurb the other day for our wonderful article that appeared. And what really struck me was the importance of preserving open space and of preserving this kind of facility. My grandchildren were at school next door. And so 10 years ago, I had the first opportunity to say, well, I got a minute. Let me go duck in there for a minute and just look around. And here we are. Frances and all of your colleagues, you have done such an amazing job of putting this place back on the map that, especially today, and this is the first time I've gotten here this season, it is just a marvel. So congratulations. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is an organization that you all know. It has a very dear place in my heart for one unusual reason among many. But when Diana and I were newlyweds, and my mother-in-law, who was well known in Palm Beach, Gioconda King, a lot of you might remember, but the library at the Four Arts is named after her and her late husband, Joe King. When I came into the family as a young Cuban-American, just gotten a degree and da-da-da-da, you know, the first thing she asked Diana when Diana told her that she was actually dating a Cuban was, "Is he from Hulu?" And so here we are. But the National Trust gave me credibility because at some point in the first 5 years of our relationship, they put me on the cover of the magazine. And one of Gio's friends said to her, "Darling, isn't that your son-in-law?" And from that moment on, I had importance. So thanks to the National Trust. Carol Quillen has just come aboard in the last year and has already made an enormous impact in many aspects of the work of the Trust. And as a member of the National Trust Council, which is an organization that I invite all of you to look into because it's such a great way to support this movement, we have had the opportunity to travel together to a number of exciting places. Of course, we had the council here about 4 years ago now, and we'll soon be in LA. It is just a real privilege to be able to work together with Carol and the crew to do all the things that she's doing. So without any further ado, Carol Quillen.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for your generous words and for everything you've done, not only for the National Trust, but for preservation across the country. It's a real privilege to be here with all of you. I'm here on behalf of the National Trust, first and foremost, to thank you, every one of you, for making this extraordinary gardens possible. This is my first time here, and as I walk around this place and see the gallery space and experience the interaction of the sculptures with the natural landscape, all I can think of is this is why preservation matters. This is why it's important to do the work. And I've been talking and thinking a lot about how to describe preservation for people who don't necessarily recognize its importance. And I've landed on this notion of all the things that preservation creates, what preservation makes possible, the kinds of experiences that we wouldn't have the opportunity to have had people not like you not done what you've done here. And one of those things is to experience the interaction of the built environment, artistic creation, and the natural landscape. And when you experience that all together, I think it shifts our habits of perception. It opens our minds to new connections and new relationships that we couldn't have imagined without the experience of standing in these gardens and seeing these artworks and opening our minds to how they can transform us. So for all of the experiences that this incredibly beautiful place will create for us here tonight, for the children and the veterans and the visitors to this town that come here, and to the 50,000 people that walk through this gate and get to stand on these paths and see this incredible space, I really want to thank you on behalf of preservationists all across the country. I especially want to thank Frances Fisher. Can we please give her a round of applause? I've heard so much about her leadership tonight and her passion and how she's inspired all of you to get involved, and the way in which she put her heart and her creativity and her strategic brain power into really transforming this place into the incredible oasis that we see today, honoring Ann Norton's wishes and her desires and her legacy, while also serving her community in truly powerful ways. And that's at the National Trust, that's the kind of space that we want to see. This site exemplifies what we think preservation can do, and in particular, what artists' spaces can do across the country. It's our privilege to have Ann Norton Sculpture Garden as part of our historic artist homes and studios, and I'm really grateful to you for everything you've done here. So thank you, Frances. And with that, I hope that you all enjoy the evening. I'm not sure what's next, but I'm very grateful for the invitation to be here and to you for helping me, giving me the best example I've seen so far of all of the experience that preservation creates. Thank you.
Tonight we gather in celebration and those whose vision, dedication, and generosity have played a pivotal role in the restoration, preservation, and continued growth of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens. The 2025 recipients of the Ann Norton Award for Philanthropy have laid the foundation for the complete restoration of this historic property, ensuring that it remains a cherished cultural treasure for generations to come. Their support is also the inspiration for the Magnolia Society Endowment, a legacy that will continue to nurture the garden's future, sustainability, and impact. Just as the Magnolia is deeply rooted in the earth, our Magnolia Society founding members are deeply rooted in a shared commitment to growth, resilience, and beauty. They represent the strong foundation that preserves the Norton property, nourishes our gardens, and expands our mission to inspire creativity and connection. Together, they embody the spirit of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens, and it is through their vision that we continue to thrive. As we recognize each member of the Magnolia Society, please remain at your table. We will take a moment to honor your incredible achievements and present you with a gift. A photograph will also be taken to commemorate this special occasion. Thank you for your attention, and let's get started. Now we honor and celebrate the incredible contributions of this evening's awardees. We extend our deepest gratitude to Sarah and Tim Bennetts for Sarah's outstanding work as Garden Committee Co-Chair, the establishment of the Conservation Conversation Lecture Series, and the Master Gardener in Residence. Sarah's vision and dedication are directly responsible for the garden's stunning beauty that members and visitors enjoy each day, creating a truly remarkable environment. Thank you. The Cultural Council for Palm Beach County. Dave Lawrence and Jennifer Sullivan are joining us tonight for their Cultural Capital Matching Grant, which supported the Francis Fisher Art and Nature Conservancy. Thank you. The Gentlemen of the Garden, whose stewardship of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens over more than 30 years have been essential to the garden's continued vitality, and includes their restoration of the Wyeth Courtyard, Ann Norton's monumental sculpture Gateway to Knowledge, and the Pollinator Garden. Thank you. Jeff Coons, for his work as a Garden Committee Co-Chairman, a Gentleman of the Garden, and the establishment with Sarah Bennetts of the Conservation Conversations Lecture Series and Master Gardener in Residence Program. Karen Lamb, Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens' longest standing trustee since 2007, and co-chair of the Art Committee, for her dedication to Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens' world-renowned exhibitions and programs. Sam Lehrman, for his lead gift to the Protecting a Legacy campaign with the restoration of Ann Norton's monumental sculpture, Seven Beings, her love letter to Ralph Norton, and for his dedication as a champion exhibitor in Sculpture in Motion.
Oh.
Thank you, Sam. Sarah and Jim McCann.
Yay.
For their unwavering support and establishment of the museum store, their generous contributions to the Evening of Music and Art in the Gardens each year, and their significant contributions to the Orchid House and the Norton House furnishings. Thank you. David Miller, co-chairman of the Protecting a Legacy campaign, long-term board service, Gentleman of the Garden, Art Committee co-chair, and our official Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens historian. The William H. Pitt Foundation and Pauline Pitt and Jackie Breckenridge, I believe, is here tonight. Hey, Jackie. For their leadership in the restoration of the Northgate entrance connecting Palm Beach Day Academy and the Pitt Building to Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens, and for their ongoing Gardens Conservancy support. Thank you. Caroline and Nick Rafferty. Caroline serves as Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens Board Vice Chairwoman, for their leadership in the restoration of the Legacy Gallery and the Art and Nature Conservatory, the restoration and naming of the North Gate entrance, and as founders of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens' signature program, Art, Music, and Healthy Hearts. Thank you. Cindy Sulzberger and Stephen Green. For Cindy's many years of service to Ann Norton Sculpture Garden, including her role as board secretary, education committee chairwoman, and founder of Ann Norton Sculpture Garden's first education program, Literacy Day, 17 years ago, as well as the restoration of the Fascio Conference Room, Sir Peter Smithers Loggia, and the Ann Norton's monumental untitled horizontal sculpture, right here. Thank you. Sally and Bill Soder, for her long-term board service as vice chairwoman and art committee co-chair, as well as the restoration of the Wyeth Terrace and Great Lawn, the Orchid House and Plaza, Ann Norton's monumental sculpture monument number 8, and her lead contribution to the Magnolia Society endowment. Thank you, Sally. Susan and Bob Wright, for their restoration of the Courtyard Gallery, the creation of the Susan and Bob Wright Indoor Classroom and Lecture Hall, and their longtime leadership as founding members and chairman of the Gardens Conservancy. Thank you. In honor of those who are no longer with us, we remember and express our profound gratitude to Iris Apfel and Leslie Rose. Their remarkable contributions and lasting legacy continue to inspire us all. Well, I can tell you, to Matt and Helene Lawrenson, there you are, for the restoration of the beautiful Ulitic Grotto and their ongoing help with preservation of the gardens, and for Julie and Peter Cummings for the Ann Norton Studio, Garden, and Terrace. The latest naming. We are truly grateful. It's going to be a spectacular space. So we also extend our heartfelt thanks to those who are unable to be here tonight, including Cindy Anderson or Cynthia Anderson Canty, Becky and David Gotchman, Audrey and Martin Gruss, the founding chairpersons of Sculpture in Motion and valued contributors to the Magnolia Society Endowment, Christina and Ben McFarland, Harvey Oyer, co-chairman of the Protecting a Legacy campaign, as well as the Cornelia T. Bailey Foundation, the Batchelor Foundation, the Mary Alice Horton Foundation, the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners, and the Wyeth Foundation for American Art.
Oh, bravo.
Now, it is a privilege to stand before you today to celebrate Ann Norton Sculpture Garden's remarkable achievements under Frances's guidance. As chairwoman of our Board of Trustees, Frances has led with grace, integrity, and unwavering passion for the arts, historic preservation, education, and environmental stewardship. Her impact on our organization has been transformative, ensuring that the legacy of Ann Norton continues to flourish for generations to come. Under Frances's leadership, we've experienced significant growth, innovation, and a renewed commitment to conservation, education, and accessibility. Always with her signature elegance, warmth, and welcoming spirit, Frances has guided Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens through challenging times with determination, encouraging us to think bigger and to keep moving forward. Beyond her remarkable leadership, Frances listens with empathy, thinks with clarity, and leads with both heart and intellect. Her ability to form community partnerships, inspire new ideas, and propel our mission forward has been extraordinary. We're thrilled to announce that Frances's generous $1 million gift will establish the Magnolia Society Endowment and the Frances Fisher Art and Nature Conservatory, the third and final historic building to be restored on our campus. This state-of-the-art facility will house the Susan and Bob Wright Indoor Classroom and Lecture Hall, offering hands-on workshops, lectures, and education programs for visitors of all ages. The archival library, which will preserve Ann Norton's personal sketches, writings, and historical documents, and the Caroline and Nick Rafferty Legacy Gallery, dedicated to showcasing Ann Norton's works on paper. These spaces will honor all the profound impact Ann and Ralph had on shaping the cultural community in South Florida. Frances's extraordinary contribution to Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens is invaluable, and her generosity and commitment play a crucial role in sustaining and advancing our mission. Thank you. That's right. That's right. Each of you has contributed immeasurably to the legacy and future of Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens. Your support has enabled us to preserve the past while building a future rich in creativity, education, and community. For that, we are deeply grateful, and we are honored to celebrate you tonight. Okay, Jane. It is my special pleasure this year to welcome Jane Manus as Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens' 5th Artist-in-Residence. A native of Palm Beach and an internationally renowned sculptor, Jane's work has been showcased across the United States and around the world, from Monte Carlo and Florence to Havana and Naples. Her work is included in many prestigious collections, including those of the Low Art Museum at the University of Miami, Mississippi Museum of Art in Jackson, Mississippi, Harn Museum of Art in Gainesville, and many more. The Lincoln Center, List Collection in New York, the Georgia Museum of Art in Athens, Georgia, and Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York. Like Ann Norton, Jane is one of the few female artists in the genre of abstract geometric sculpture, and she is known for thinking big. Jane has had a deep and meaningful connection with Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens for over 30 years, and we're truly honored to have her exhibition, Old Friends, displayed in the gardens. I know Ann would be absolutely thrilled to see an artist with such a profound respect for her legacy showcasing their work here. To express our gratitude, we're proud to present Jane with the key to Ann Norton's artist studio. We're getting you the key. It's coming.
I want to thank you so much. This is an artist, a sculptor's dream to be able to show in such an extraordinary venue. I mean, and next to Ann's work. But I especially want to thank Francis and Margaret and Donna, wherever you are back there, because you've been here a long time. And a special thanks to a special friend who brought me here 40 years ago, David Miller, that introduced me to the garden for my first show here and brought me back today. So thank you so much. And it is a joy to get to show here. Thank you. Thank you so much. It really works.
It does. It's really great.
I didn't know I was going to stand up and say something, but this evening brings many memories back of when Francis called me, I don't know how many years ago it was, to come for a lunch in the studio, and you should have seen the studio, and they had cleaned it up. Francis and I have known each other from another Norton board, and we have become great friends. And it has been fabulous for me to serve with Francis because I'm old enough to be her mother, and I just adore her. And I have been so proud to be able to work with you these past, I don't know how many years it is, it's many years, and to meet all of these other people through helping the Ann Norton. You are a wonderful, wonderful person, and I love you very much.
Of course. Thank you, Sally. Okay, now we're going to change gears. It's time for the music portion of the evening. George Bugatti, born in Brooklyn Heights, New York, is a singer, pianist, writer, and producer. His musical journey began at age 5 when its parents lost him in Macy's Herald Square, and he was discovered playing piano in the piano department. This early encounter with music led to formal training, attendance at the High School of Performing Arts in New York City, and acceptance into the Juilliard School. However, a severe hand injury redirected his career from classical piano to singing and songwriting. In the intervening years, rehabilitation of his hand allowed George to accompany himself on prestigious stages such as Carnegie Hall, a mainstay performer at Bellagio, Las Vegas, and an 8-year residency at Peninsula Beverly Hills, where LA Magazine dubbed him the West Coast answer to the Carlyle's Bobby Short. Bugatti's career has been featured in major publications including Rolling Stone, Los Angeles Magazine, the LA Times, and Variety. Please welcome to entertain you tonight, George Bugatti.
Special thanks to before we start, to Francis Fisher and the Board of Trustees of Norton House. It's a great thrill and honor for me to be here tonight on this centennial celebration. We also want to acknowledge, of course, the Magnolia Society for their incredible contributions and continued commitment. When Bill Porter, my agent, first contacted me, I don't know where Bill is out there. Thank you, Bill Porter Music. I was very excited about doing this because my fiancée and I, Roseanne, had just recently visited the gardens, and we loved it, and I wanted to find a very special song that encapsulated the magic of this place. And the lyrics that Gene Wilder sang as Willy Wonka 50 years earlier kept popping into my head. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What you see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living here, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. You're walking along the street, or you're at a party, or else you're alone, and then you suddenly dip. You're looking in someone's eyes, you suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big. I've spent so many mornings just trying to resist you. I'm trembling now, you can't know how I've missed you. Miss the early morning madness, miss the magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we've never said goodbye. I don't want to be alone, that's all in the past. This world's waited long enough. I've come home at last. And this time will be bigger and brighter than we knew it. Just watch me fly, we all